Good morning, Barbara. Adjust this camera. I don't know, something just seems different. Doesn't it seem different?
Oh yeah, it does.
What is different about it?
I'm not sure, but it definitely seems. Right behind.
Honey, take those over on your side so that you have some. And the other side. Lee circles. And reverse. And shoe circles. And reverse. And ping circles. And reverse. And reverse. And block. And good. Before you put your sticks away, I want to talk actually this whole week about internal stretching. We've sort of talked about it in the past a little bit, but I think we need to go into it more deeply. If you're not doing the internal stretches, you're not actually doing these exercises. So let me show you what I mean. If Annie will help me. Why don't you set your stick down? And so we've got a big bucket of bird feed underneath here, so that's what this is for. So I just want you to hold it up like this. All right. Now, when you're doing the blocking exercise, sort of stand to my side so the axis would go right through the middle. All right. When you're doing the blocking exercise, you're actually going around this circle. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Does that make it more clear? It's not that there's anything wrong with going under. It's just a different exercise. We're going up, right? Up and over around, right? And then on the other side, up and over around, over around, over around. Why are we doing that is the secret. It's because of the stretch that you get. And let me adjust the camera. What you'll want is a certain kind of stretch. And the stretch goes all the way from the bottom of the foot all the way out to the tip of the stick. Whenever, excuse me, whenever you use the long stick or the short stick or a sword or a saber, you're extending your body. You can move your mind through the stick. Right now it's on the middle, right? Then it goes out to the end. And your chi will follow that. It will actually go into the stick. The reason we use wooden sticks instead of steel sticks is the wood carries your chi better. Okay, now watch. So we're going to go a little over to this side here. All right, so you've got to come over here. All right, I'm going to do this exercise. But what I want you to watch is the stretch. 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 Now specifically, the stretch goes all the way up the back of the leg and then really stretches out the back, especially what they call the loins. All right? The loins are the muscles between the hips and the rib cage. They actually go all the way up to the neck, right? But what you want to do, right, is stretch. 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 Right? Is that clear?
Yes.
Oh.
What's not clear is why I'm standing here holding it.
To remind them that it's really easy when you do Tai Chi and Qigong to start thinking about other things and forget what it is you're doing. In which case, you're no longer doing Tai Chi or Qigong because your mind mediates everything. So if you just start going like this, all right, and you're not actually thinking about your body and feeling your body, feeling the stretch, right? You're not getting the full benefit of this by any means.
Can I put this down?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
All right, there's something else that we need to talk about too. That stretch that I just mentioned, going from the heel, the back of the foot, all the way up and out to the tip of the stick, that's half of the chi path. All right? The first half of the chi path, is this. Watch. That's the first half. That's the second half. Closing, opening, closing, opening, closing, opening. Watch. Closing, opening, closing, opening, closing, opening. Now, usually when I do it, I've been doing this so many years, it's not real pronounced in the physical body, but it should be pronounced in the mind and the energy body. Master Zhang, you've heard me say this before, Master Zhang and Master Feng would always say the same thing. If I don't show you, you won't see it because it didn't show up in their outer physical body. That's just because they had gotten so efficient at it that you didn't see it. So they would exaggerate, right? Close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, right? The close goes from the mind to the Dan Chen to the foot. All right? Why does it go to the foot? To engage the ground. All right? Close, close. Then to open, you come back from the ground to the Dan Chen, and in this case out to the hand and out to the end of the stick. Close, open, close, open, close, open. So if we just do this very gently, the way that we usually do it, it can be very gentle. It doesn't have to be anywhere near as intense as that. But still, you've got to do that inner work, or it's not Qigong. Huh? Okay, now that little mini lecture here took about 3 minutes. You just got the secret of Tai Chi in 3 minutes, and I'm not kidding. All right, you can put the sticks away. So the foundation of Tai Chi and Qigong is your breathing. Try this with your hands. All right? Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right? When you're doing the stick, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's do the elbows because they're similar to the stick work, similar but different. All right. Let's do alternate elbows. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. All right. It's this, instead of the Qi going all the way out to the end of the stick, now it's going all the way out to your elbow. Can you feel? Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. So what's different about it than the stick? It's the actual the actual yang energy is from a slightly different place. Instead of being out on the end of the stick, now it's on your elbow. All right? You're going to have a little different energy going on in your waist. When you've got the big stick, you're reaching out in such a way that your waist movement is, you know, it's there, but it's not super exaggerated. All right? You're shifting your weight, turning your waist, and then coming up with the stick. When you're doing elbows, you're doing exactly the same thing, only it's a little closer in. So there's more waist movement. Watch. All right? That's different than this. All right? I know it doesn't look like much on the outside, but on the inside, it's really intense. Now, there's a secret. Tai Chi is just full of secrets. There's a secret to making the shift from being more extended to being in closer to the center. All right? One aspect of that is that your daimai is moving more. It's a little less here, it's a little more here. The secret is in how you do the little bit more. Because the secret is not in the daimai itself or the dantian. It's somewhere else.
The qua.
Exactly.
Yay!
You get a gold star. Seriously, that is... Master Zhang, I cannot tell you, Master Zhang used to stand on the side and watch us doing the form or doing exercises, and he would just say, sink, sink, more, sink, right? What he meant was sink in the qua, which is another way of saying activate the qua. If I want to turn here, I've got to sink here. Sink in the quad, sink in the quad, sink in the quad, sink in the quad. The more you turn your daimai, the more you have to sink in the quad. And not just the red one, the blue one too. Boom. Otherwise, you're so stiff that you actually can't turn your waist very well. All right? So, I think I've said this before, but this is so this is my wooden ball, but this will stand in for my Dan Chen. The Dan Chen sits in the pelvic girdle like an apple in a bowl. This is a bowl here, right? And it really is a bowl. Right? If you want to turn it radically, you've got to sink into the bottom of that bowl. And that seems like a little thing, but it's really the secret to unlocking the flexibility in your body. All right? You don't have to be extreme with it, but you need to be conscious of it and let it sink in there a little bit. Let it sink. Let it sink. And I should say, because when I give these pep talks, folks get really, okay, I'm really going to push it down in there. No, don't do that. Just relax. The secret is to relax into the bottom of the bowl. Relax. 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 Right? And I'll tell you why that's important. What happens is people develop strength in the body by stiffening the body. All right? I mean, you've seen soldiers standing like this, right? Chest out, blah, 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 blah. That's anathema. That's exactly the opposite of what we do. All right? What we do is relax into the physical body and let the energy body hold us up. But it's not going to be military style. It's going to be much, much more flexible. It's like a giant cat or something. So you don't push down into the qua. You just relax down into the qua. Make sense? Okay. Let's do the whole elbow series here, so you can feel this. In fact, let's start with the shoulders. We'll do the elbows. It's equally true for any exercise you do, but these two work really well with this because they're so big. All right. Sink. Relax into the qua. Relax and stretch and close and open and close and open, close and open. And you can feel the stretch all the way from the ground up to your shoulder. And relax and reverse. Close, open, close, open, close, open. All the way to the ground, all the way to the shoulder. Ground, shoulder, ground, shoulder, ground, shoulder, ground, shoulder. Okay. Master Zhang, I don't remember him ever having a bungee cord. He may have actually at one time. But what you want is for the internal stretch to be just right. If this is my stretch inside, if I pull it really, really tight, that's too tight. That's no good. That creates stress in the body. If it's too loose, you don't get anything out of it either. What you want is for the stretch to be just right. Not overstretched, but not understretched either. Just right. And you'll know it when you find it. Let's do one more. Oh, let's go to the other side. Let's do one more little routine here, or little lesson. There's two ways to stretch: externally and internally. Externally means you're stretching your physical body. That's a good thing to do. But what happens is people don't know how to stretch their internal body, so they don't pay any attention to it. And that's actually what this is. It's an internal stretch. So try this. First, we're going to stretch the body. So just focus on the physical body. Stretch. 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 Okay, that's good. And you should continue to do that, but add in the internal. Now we're going to do the internal, which means your physical body's not going to move. Stop. Stop. All right. Stop, Barbara, stop. All right? You need to be able to move the chi in your body and stretch it without moving your physical body. You just use your mind. Mind to the dantian, to the foot, to the dantian, in this case back to the shoulder. All right? So, I'm going to count out close, and what that means is close, and then open, which is like this, but you're not going to move your physical body. All right, close, open, close, open, close, open. Wow, that is a very strange. I haven't done that exercise in years. That is a really good exercise, and we're going to do that the whole rest of the week. I know it seems really simple, but honestly, if you use your mind to do that, you're not moving your physical body. You're moving your energy. Close, open. Right? Close, open. Close, open. Now your mind is going through your physical body and leading your chi. And could you feel it?
Yeah, but what I experience is contract, expand. You're using open and close, but for me, contraction, expansion.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
It works better for my mind.
Whatever language works for you is fine, as long as it helps you get where you want to go. Now you would say, well, what good does it do? A couple of things. One is it'll teach you about your Shin Yi, your mental intention. Shin Yi means heart mind. So it's about using your heart mind to move your chi. And what happens, because we're so physically oriented and we're always doing things, that physical motion becomes like a screen that blocks some of our view of our inner self. And since we've been doing that since we were little kids, in a way, we sort of aren't very well in touch with our inner selves. So Qigong and Tai Chi are about becoming in touch with your inner self. Now, when you practice that a little bit, and then you come back and you start doing the physical part of this too, hopefully some of that internal awareness is still there. Have you ever seen uh, there's a Japanese art of the sword, and one of the things they do is they start in a kneeling position with their sword in the scabbard, and they've got a block of or a big thing of straw in front of them, and they're supposed to draw the sword and slash that straw. And the question is, can they do it cleanly? Yada 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 yada. And you'll see people that have been doing this for 20 years who still can't do it or can't do it consistently. But what I wanted to point out is when they're down on the ground and they've got to do this, and it's a competition, it's like a tournament thing, right? And so they'll sit there for a long time, 10 or 20 seconds, just looking at that block of straw.
They're imagining doing it.
Exactly. And they're doing exactly that exercise. They're doing the exercise mentally without moving an atom of their body. And then when they feel ready, slash, all right? They're rehearsing their movement. So they're very aware of the necessity to use the mind to control the chi, and the chi controls the body.
I've heard that people who are high-level divers do the same thing.
I think
they
that,
stand there and they imagine the whole thing. And pole vaulters
yeah.
really have to do it.
Well, anyone who's doing something pole vaulting is extreme.
Extremely, yeah.
It's very intense. And they have to not just do 50 pole vaults a day, but they actually have to rehearse it exactly. But think about anything anybody does. When you go into the kitchen to make cookies,
No, I don't rehearse it anymore. I just get the flour and the sugar, the eggs, and the butter.
but that's not true because you keep changing the recipe.
Well,
So you are thinking about
I'm
it,
a
right?
mad scientist in the kitchen when it comes to cookies.
When you do push hands in Tai Chi, right? So Annie, come and put your hands on mine, right? When you begin, often there's no movement. That doesn't mean you're not engaged, right? I'm feeling her body. I'm feeling the pressure of her fingers on because press a little harder, right? Okay, that's different, press really lightly. That's different from that. Her mind would be in two completely different places. And I need to know where her mind is before I know what is going on with her body. Let's do some elbows. Watch the qua here. Right? Relax into the qua. Sink down into the bottom of the bowl. Right? And reverse. Sink into the bowl. Right? You're rotating your dantian. And the other side. Sink into the bowl. Sink into the bowl, and then all the way from the bottom of the left foot up to the elbow. Sink into the bowl, bottom of the foot, back to the bowl, then to the elbow. So it's a big circle. And reverse. shift your weight. Close, open, close, open. What's the language you're using?
Contract and
All
expand.
right. Contract, expand, contract, expand. What they use in Chinese is open and close. Close, open, close, open, close, open. All right, and double. Open. Sink into the bottom of the bowl, down to the feet, and then open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Weight on the right. Weight on the left. 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 And reverse. Open. Close. 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 Okay. All right. Even when we do the 3 Taiji Qigongs. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. So, the real secret to these exercises is to relax into these basic principles. You don't have to push them. You don't have to be extreme with them. You just have to give them a little nod and remember, shift your weight. Every exercise, you're going to be shifting your weight. When you shift your weight, you're going to be turning your waist. When you turn your waist, you're going to be sinking in the quad. Turning the waist means turning the spine, right? And then you're opening and closing the trunk. Right?
And then you're knitted all together.
That's true. All right, hold on just a second. I want to read you something. If I can find it. You wouldn't happen to know where bird wings is, would you?
No. You should mark it, honey, if you find it.
Yeah, I should. Well, I'd have to search to find it, so. But that's a that's a book of Rumi's poetry, and there's a poem, a wonderful poem in there called Bird Wings. And what he's saying, although he says it much more eloquently, is your life itself is about opening and closing and opening and closing. And he says, if you were always stretched open or always crunched closed, you'd be paralyzed. It's in the movement between opening and closing that you find the magic. And he says, if you can get this, your internal energy will be as beautifully balanced as bird wings, opening and closing and opening and closing, just very natural. And boy, I'll tell you what, I find that true. So the past 3 weeks, I haven't done any Qigong. This has probably been the longest time I haven't done Qigong or Tai Chi for
Years.
For many, many years, 20 or 30 years. And what happens is you just congeal inside. Right? You just turn into this block of butter or something. And as soon as you start moving and opening and closing, everything softens up and just gets much more alive, right? Okay, guys, I think that's it for today, but this is going to be the theme of the week. If some other folks show up, we'll repeat some of this stuff tomorrow. Okay, hon, you have yourselves a great day. All right? We'll see you next time. Ciao.